Ever wonder what $1 million really gets you in Miami these days? Spoiler alert, it's not that $1 million mansion you might be picturing, and it might not even be fully move-in ready. I'm Riley Smith, a trusted Miami real estate expert, and I know firsthand just how much market prices have shifted in the last few years. Let's talk about what $1 million budget buys you in Miami in 2025's market, and more importantly, how to be strategic if you're buying in this price range. So I think when we look at what does $1 million get you in Miami, especially in the single family home market, we have to start with location, right? We now have to get a little bit outside of downtown and its proximity and move out to the edges of Miami. Places like Doral, Hialeah, go down to Homestead. These kind of places, which are now a little bit further in the commute, are really where that starter home for $1 million or less exists today. You know, if we just go back a couple years pre-pandemic, those starter homes are now up almost 165% in value. And that's really changed the landscape here in Miami. But compared to the national average, where a starter home in the United States today is running close to $200,000, the numbers have obviously gone way up here in Miami. And that's indicative across all of the market, but especially true for that starter home or that first-time home that people are usually buying, coming from a condo, moving into Miami, or getting out of that rental lifestyle. So at this price point, you have to think about what are we really getting. We're certainly not getting on the water. You're not really going to get that view that you thought maybe you would have, and probably not going to be able to get in many gated communities. But you are going to end up with somewhere around 1,500 square feet. And if you're looking at a condo, perhaps a 2-bedroom and maybe a little bit more. So at the end of the day, what you're really getting with that $1 million budget here in Miami is entry into Miami's new and exciting future. So I think what we're seeing in the market here in Miami is that sellers are starting to have to shift their way of thinking, and buyers are really finding themselves having access to a lot more seller concessions. Sellers are willing to help buy down their rate. They're certainly willing to fix the houses a little bit more than they used to, and really sometimes even offer seller financing just to make a sale. Because the inventory has grown so fast down here that now we're close to 3 sellers for every 1 buyer in the market, and this has really put the buyer in the driver's seat. If you come to us with a budget of $1 million and tell us you want to buy a single family home, there's some certain neighborhoods that we think hold the best value right now. We're talking about neighborhoods like Condo, Doral, West Miami, and even maybe now going as far south as Homestead. These neighborhoods still provide value, and you still be able to get a nice move-in ready house that might need a little love, but you're also going to get a decent yard, and most importantly, you're going to get into a cool neighborhood where I really see the future values are going to be on the rise. So if a buyer's priority is more about location, walkability, and maybe some views, there are still some great options if they're willing to trade that single-family lifestyle for condo living. We're still seeing plenty of condos, especially right now as the condo market has really increased in terms of number of sellers. Out there in Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, you can even get something on the beach with a nice waterfront view for $1 million. So when you're thinking about your $1 million budget, and most of us out there in that price range are probably going to be getting a mortgage, these are some of the things you need to consider. Whether you're in a single family home, of course, you got to think about taxes and you got to think about insurance. And if you're in a gated community, there's going to be a homeowners association fee. These are all going to come along with it. Perhaps also you'll be in a flood zone and have an additional insurance cost there. But if you're also thinking about a condo, they have their own set of fees, right? You're still going to need some insurance for yourself inside the unit, but the HOA fees are ever changing right now as they're struggling with the new insurance requirements. So these are just some of the things to think about when you're building your budget. It's not just all about what is your buying power with your interest rate. You have to consider all of the fees that go into building up your monthly payment. Because Miami's values have risen so fast, we find ourselves talking to our buyers about where the potential value will lie in the future. And of course, we've talked about you're going to have to move a little west and a little south. But these neighborhoods are just starting to emerge, and I think are going to be the leaders of the new boom in the next Miami real estate market uptick. So here's the takeaway. If you've got $1 million budget in Miami, you're not priced out. That's the good news. But this isn't a casual market. You need to come in with a plan. Understand what the trade-offs you're willing to make, and whether that's location, condition, or type of property, and work with someone who knows how to uncover those hidden valued homes. Whether you're weighing neighborhoods, debating between a condo or a single family home, or just trying to figure out where the value is, I'm here to help you. If this kind of market insight is helpful, like this video, turn on your post notifications, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future updates. See you on the next one.